offend anybody. It's unfortunate. So that is you have to see. When you go to the hospital, you see number one, you see those even the doctor, you see that when the doctor is not a doctor. Two, if you see there is not a farmer, there is not a doctor.
All right.
You can't see the sign of that doctor. If you are a doctor, you have a private hospital, you put your this in there, your school and your MMDC and your practice.
Thank you so much, Dr. Babajide. I'm afraid we're out of time. Thank you for that insight. First Vice Chairman, NMA Lagos Chapter, Dr. Saidi Babajide. Thank you for talking to us on the news tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for calling.
Let's turn now to Borno State, where Governor Babagana Zulum has launched the first phase of a teacher training initiative with about 2,000 teachers found trainable after sitting for a competency test conducted by the state government. This move, according to the governor, is geared towards improving the quality of education in the state. Jesse Tafida reports.
1,949 teachers from across 27 local council areas of Borno State. They are part of those who need further training as teachers following a competency test conducted by the state government. In spite of their test failure, Governor Babagana Zulum does not intend to fire them. He still wants them to be on board, but after they undergo additional training.
So I advise you to study very well, write the examination. We don't have any business in failing any teacher. Some are having SSCs for the last 20 years, and they are still teaching at the primary school level. This is not acceptable. Government will be spending 300 million naira on a monthly basis for this training. But what I want is to see the teachers that are on the payroll, the local education authority in Borno State are well qualified to teach at our primary school.
1 billion naira has been released specifically for this initiative, and teachers enrolled in the program are tasked to take it serious.
The problem facing basic education in our states escalated since the discontinuation of direct absorption of primary school teachers from their respective teachers' colleges. With no structured employment approach in place, the indiscriminate replacement of teachers has resulted in several challenges, including salary scale discrepancies and the hiring of unqualified persons, among others.
The Zulum administration has since inception promised to revamp the education sector, and this initiative is seen as a vital step towards improving the educational system. Jesse Tafida, TVC News, BU.
Jesse joins me now for more on this development. I'm guessing this is second chance for the teachers who failed the competency test. How long will this training last for, and what is the state government's plan for them moving forward?
Thank you very much, Nifemi. Now the training is going to go on phases. Now it depends on how the teacher is, because the state government has found out that some of the teachers were just secondary school graduates and they were employed, before this government. It is good to note that the state has suffered 13-year insurgency, and when you talk about Boko Haram, when you translate it to English, it means Western education is forbidden. And now when Zulum came, what he did was to see how he could revamp this sector, to see that children are back to school. And a lot of schools have been destroyed. Now, after that was done, the next thing he did was to develop these teachers. Now, what he did was himself, he was the first person that tried giving an assessment test to teachers, and most of the teachers failed the test, which he says that they need to be retrained. Basically, they need to be fired, because some of them, according to the government, during the verification, they found out that some of them have fake certificates, fake results, and they're still teaching in primary schools, and some of them, as I've said, are just secondary school graduates. Now, he still wants them on board. So he now initiated this teacher training program to train these teachers Some of them are going for NCE, some of them are going for their degree program, and the state government is going to sponsor this program. He wants to develop their capacity. He wants them to keep teaching these children that have been out of school for years. Some of these children were born during the insurgency and up till now. This is the time for them to go back to school. And he wants to develop these teachers because he believes this adage that says the development of every society depends on the level of education of its students. Now, first, he wants to develop the teachers. There are controversies some weeks ago about the state government underpaying the teachers. Not underpaying the teachers. These teachers are being given these stipends just supposed to, leave the job. But he doesn't want that to happen because he knows that a lot of people have suffered this insurgency and they are trying to.
Well, I guess we are going to keep track on these almost 2,000 teachers and see how many of them we see through this training program. That's about the time. Senior reporter Jesse Tafida live for us in Maiduguri. Thank you for the update there. Let's turn to Yobe State, where as part of strategic measure to curtail flooding during the rainy season, the Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Buni, alongside top government functionaries, have inspected roads and hospital building projects within Damaturu, the state capital. While inspecting the projects, Governor Buni notes that the road project is timely to ameliorate the flooding challenges bedeviling the community. In his remarks, Governor Buni admonished the contractor to meet deadline and specification of the projects currently ongoing. The Yobe State Governor briefly inspected the new hospital project at the State Teaching Hospital.
Roads and drainages is very important and significant in curtailing whatever that is coming, adhering strictly to advice by NIMET of what is expected of the climate change. We as a state here, especially Damaturu, the state capital, we are working on 7-kilometer roads and drainages to ensure that most of the flood-prone areas are addressed before the rainy season.
Let's turn now to Rivers State, where as Governor Siminalayi Fubara prepares to celebrate his first year in office, he continues to face threats from his opponents to cut his tenure short. The All Progressives Congress in the state has called on the House of Assembly to commence fresh impeachment proceedings against him. The party is opposed to comments credited to the governor when a delegation of political and traditional rulers from Bayelsa State paid him a courtesy visit at the government house in Port Harcourt. The governor described the current membership of the legislature as illegitimate and their actions null and void. The APC also frowned at the governor's position on the peace deal brokered by President Bola Tinubu.
We have directed our Rivers State House of Assembly members to immediately commence the process of impeachment of a comatose government, of a government that does not respect the rule of law. We also now sit down here on behalf of Rivers people to see Rivers State become a laughingstock in the Committee of Nations. So our charge to the Assembly members is to commence immediately. And if they don't do that, there's what they call party discipline. We shall invoke that section of the Constitution and deal decisively with them.
The Lagos Division of the Court of Appeal has suspended the enforcement of the bench warrant issued against the chairman of the Beto Energy Development Company, Cletus Beto, by the Lagos State High Court last year. The businessman is facing criminal charges over an alleged 4.8 billion naira fraud. We have details in this report, and we'll return with business news.
The Court of Appeal also adjourned until September the 16th the hearing of Cletus Beto's appeal, challenging the jurisdiction of the lower courts to try him for the alleged corruption charge. The Justice Mohammed Mustafa-led panel adjourned the hearing to await a further report on ongoing negotiations between the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the appellant. Justice Ismail Ijelu of the Lagos State High Court had in November 2023 ordered the businessman's arrest after he failed to appear before the court on several occasions to take his plea over the alleged 4.8 billion naira fraud despite repeated hearing notices served on him. The anti-graft agency had charged the defendant alongside his two companies on a 10-count charge of conspiracy, fraud, forgery and fraudulent use of documents. Mr. Ibeto then headed to the Court of Appeal seeking to have the bench warrant vacated and for the Superior Court to hear his preliminary objection against the charge. During Tuesday's hearing, both the appellant's lead counsel, Wale Olanikbekun SAN, and the EFCC's counsel, Adebisi Adeniyi, informed the court that the parties are in the process of settling the matter amicably. The court was also informed that the matter had started afresh before another lower court judge, and that the EFCC had filed an affidavit reflecting the facts of the ongoing talks. The appellant, through his counsel, also urged the court to set aside the bench warrant against him. In a short ruling, Justice Mustafa suspended the High Court order, saying the warrant of arrest cannot continue to hang over the defendant's head, since he had started settling the matter out of court.
It was the money that the nominal complainant deposited towards purchase of his land. He had not concluded the payment, is part payments made over time, okay? But